we'll see how this goes. Hey guys, welcome back. So I got a video for y'all today all about this palette right here. This is the GlamLite Cosmetics Alondra Dessy Palette. So here it is. So we are just gonna chat all things related to this palette today. So we're gonna talk about pricing, we'll look at packaging, we'll look at some swatches, I'll chat with you guys about the formula on these shadows and how they are to work with, and then give you my overall thoughts and impressions on this palette, as well as show you a little tutorial on how I did this look right here. So yeah, let's get into it. Starting with pricing and packaging, the price of this palette is $38. Here is the outside sleeve. There is Alondra on the back there. She is stunning. She is so pretty. And what she says is really sweet. So let me read it to you really quickly. It says, "Hey babes, makeup has always been one of my biggest passions, and as a professional makeup artist, I've always dreamed of being able to create a palette that allows women of all skin tones to create the most glamorous looks. The GlamLite family finally brought my dream to life with a 15-color palette that we custom created with not only all my favorite colors, but the most pop-in pigmentation and blendability I could have ever imagined. I'm so excited to share this amazing collection of my favorite eyeshadows with all of you. Besos, Alondra." So that is so sweet. So she is super pretty. She seems really sweet. As far as the actual palette goes, it's that kind of felty sort of fabric on it. So it's really pretty when you first get it. I think it looks very glamorous and sophisticated, but they do get pretty dirty, these kind of palettes that have this sort of material across it. So it's not my personal favorite sort of packaging, but I do think it's really pretty when you first get it. I guess I'm just a little bit too messy for that kind of packaging. But it does have gold on the side, which is really pretty. So it does look very elegant, is how I would describe it. It's very elegant looking and nice sturdy cardboard packaging. You open it up, there is a nice mirror in here. As far as what you're getting in here, this is like color story. This is a very, I think it's beautiful. I think it's neutral, but also creative too. You can go super neutral with it. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. You can go super neutral with it by concentrating on the more neutral colors, but then there are some definite like brighter shades, like this bright pink shade, this one, a yellow, this one's kind of an interesting different raspberry sort of a shade. So it's like it's neutral, but then also a little outside of neutral because there are some pinks and yellows and different sort of colors and just a lot of creativity to be had with this palette. So I love the color story in here. Let me count the number of mattes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mattes. And then the rest are shimmery and or metallic sort of shadows. Just a lot of fun. Now for some swatches starting on the top left side of the palette. This is Horchata, which I love horchata. It is so yummy. This one is Boss Babe, Lit, Superstar, Shady. This is Jalisco. This is Glam, Poppin', Selena, Sunshine. Bottom row of the palette, this is Rosé All Day, Cotton Candy, Inner Beauty, Bougie, and Espresso. I love the names she picked for these shadows too. I think they're just really sweet and cute names. Now let's talk about the formula of these shadows. So there are some different things happening in this palette. So first off, the mattes. The mattes are that silky sort of a matte shadow formula. So it's not a soft shadow. So it doesn't kick up a lot of product in the pan. Very minimal fallout, if any, on the face. So I find that you don't have to be quite as delicate with this silky sort of a formula. You really don't have to tap off your brush. I still would, just because why not? But it's not like it's essential because it just doesn't have a lot of fallout to it. So this is a different sort of formula than a soft shadow. This is just the type that you don't have to be as delicate with, but you do have to build it up a little bit, and you may even have to kind of pat it on to get the kind of solid pigmentation you might be going for. So I like both formulas. I love makeup. I love playing with makeup, so I'm fine with both kind of formulas. It's just that you have to kind of tweak your application technique based on the type of formula it is. And this is that silky sort of a formula that does have to be built up, does maybe have to be pat onto itself, but doesn't require tapping off your brush to be super careful with it. You're not gonna have a ton of fallout. It's not gonna overtake your eye look like a soft shadow can. So it's that silky sort of a formula. And the shimmery shades that are in here, there are some different things happening with those as well. So there are some that are kind of more of your traditional, probably what you're used to, kind of metallic shades that are pigmented, but then can be kicked up a notch with some setting spray. So there are some like that in there. There are some that are like this sort of a formula that are that almost a cream powder hybrid. But these, specifically these three right here, yeah, I think that those are the only three in here. These almost seem like they're gonna be loosely packed until you go to use them, and then they kind of meld together a little bit. So they have that good hold to them that adheres to the lids well, builds on itself well. I do like to use my fingers to apply these. I think that really gives them the most pigmentation and really just gives you that pop of that metallic sheen to them. So pretty. There is one in here, this bougie color. This one is not my favorite. This one is, it's like it feels like a powder cream hybrid. It is a powder, but it's got that kind of creaminess to it, but to the point that it's a little bit strange, a little bit challenging to work with. So it's a personal preference. This kind of a formula is not my favorite. So I would have preferred that one to not be in the palette and maybe have another one that was that kind of super duper metallic sort of a finish. So I can't really pinpoint what the difference is that I'm seeing between like this sort of a formula and this one. It's almost like this one is more loosely packed to begin with, so then you can pack it down a little bit and it's still totally fine, and that seems to work really well. Whereas this one is almost like it's already packed down, and then when you try to get it, it's like it packs it down further. I don't know if that even makes sense, but that's kind of what I noticed. So that one's not my favorite in the palette, but really overall, all the other ones, I really, really like them. I mean, I even use this and this as my blush today. I use this as my highlighter. So, I mean, it works on the face too. So I think it's a great formula. I think that these are pigmented, easy to blend and work with, and look beautiful on the eyes. And I think it's a really impressive formula. So my overall thoughts and impressions on this palette, I really, really enjoy it. I think it's another beautiful palette from GlamLite. Just a great formula to it, easy to work with, beautiful colors, you know, pretty packaging. I think she did a great job at picking names and picking a beautiful color story. So I really, really like this palette. I think it's really nice quality. So that's my overall thoughts on it. So now we're gonna get to the tutorial. Okay, so I've already applied some eyeshadow primer and set that. So I'm gonna get some of Sunshine on a Cozette S175 brush. Really pretty yellow shade. And I'm applying this in my crease and transition area. I'm gonna get some cotton candy on a smaller crease brush. This is a Bdellium Tools 781. And I'm just going to pat this in my outer corner and blend just lightly into my crease. Just kind of softening where that starts and then blends over. Actually kind of bringing this over a little bit further, kind of more to the middle of my lid, 2/3 of the way in, something like that. Adding a little bit more of that yellow back. Now I'm gonna get some of this amazing shade right here. This is Rosé All Day. Gonna get that on a flat concealer brush, and I'm going to spray it with some setting spray and apply this to my lids. Also applying some of this with my finger, just because that really kicks it up a notch. I want to kind of soften the blend between the pink and the yellow, so I'm going to get some of Horchata on a Cozette D220 brush, just right on the tip of that brush, and run that right in between those two shades. I'm going to take a small crease brush and get some of Selena on that brush and apply some of this in my outer corner just for that depth and dimension. This one is super pigmented, so I'm using very little, and I'm just kind of tapping and then lightly blending because it's just a super pigmented shadow and I want just a tiny little bit of it. I want to do something a little bit funky with my liner, so we'll see how this goes. This is the Maybelline Lasting Drama Matte Liner in 900 Rusty Terracotta. So I'm going to line this along my upper lash line and then go over that with some of Selena using a little eyeliner brush. I'm going to spray my eyeliner brush just to give me a little bit more precision with this. I think that's kind of fun and different. I like that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and apply some mascara to my upper lashes. I'm going to use my IT Cosmetics Superhero, so I'm going to apply some of this, and I'll be right back. I went ahead and applied some concealer and powder. So now for my lower lash line, I'm going to get some of Horchata on a BH Cosmetics number 10 brush, and just run this along my lower lash line. On that same brush, I'm going to get some of Superstar, kind of run my brush across it. Tap that off a little bit, and I'm going to spray my brush and then line this along my lower lash line as well. Then for a little pop on the inner corners of my eyes, I'm going to get some of Lit on a pencil brush and pop this right on the inner corners of my eyes. I'm just going to apply some CoverGirl Clump Crusher to my lower lashes and then finish up the rest of my makeup. Alright guys, so that wraps up this video. So I hope that you really enjoyed it and I hope it was helpful for you. Please do a thumbs up if it was. Let me know down below if you've tried this palette or any others from GlamLite. Which ones are your favorites, or what do you think about this palette specifically? I'd love to know that. Ask me any questions that you have down below. I'm happy to answer those. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!